Jane Fonda was born on December 21, 1937, in New York City. Her dad was the famous actor Henry Fonda, so everyone knew who she was from the start. But Jane didn't just ride on her father's fame. Instead, she created her own amazing life filled with acting, standing up for what she believed in, and always being willing to challenge herself and the world around her. Jane's childhood had both good and bad parts. Her family was talented and successful, but they didn't show emotions much. When Jane was only 12 years old, her mother sadly took her own life. This terrible loss hurt Jane deeply and made her spend her whole life searching for meaning and trying to feel like she was good enough. Jane went to fancy schools, including Vassar College. At first, she didn't want to be an actress at all. But after living in Paris for a while, and then studying acting with a famous teacher named Lee Strasberg at the Actors Studio, ATUS, she fell in love with performing. This would become her career. Jane Fonda started making movies in the early 1960s. People quickly noticed her because she was smart, beautiful, and had a special spark. At first, she played glamorous characters, but she wanted to do more serious and challenging roles. Her big breakthrough came with a science fiction movie called Barbarella in 1968, which made her famous around the world. Jane had mixed feelings about that movie. Later it made her powerful, but also trapped her in some ways. But instead of letting Hollywood control her, she used her fame to get the kinds of roles she really wanted. The 1970s were the best years of Jane Fonda's acting career. She gave amazing performances that proved she was one of the greatest actresses ever. She played a tired, emotionally hurt prostitute in a movie called Klute in 1971, and she won her first Academy Award for it. This showed everyone how talented she really was. After that, she gave unforgettable performances in Coming Home in 1978, where she played a military wife who changes emotionally, and The China Syndrome in 1979, a tense political thriller that showed she cared deeply about social problems at the same time as her acting career. Jane Fonda became one of the most outspoken and controversial political activists of her time. She was strongly against the Vietnam War and became a major voice in the anti-war movement. She used her fame to make her protests louder. In 1972, she visited North Vietnam, which many people criticized and misunderstood. This trip got her the nickname Hanoi Jane, which stuck with her for decades. Later, Jane said she regretted some parts of that trip, but she still defended her right to protest wars she thought were wrong. In the 1980s, Jane Fonda reinvented herself again, this time by changing popular culture through fitness. Jane Fonda's Workout came out in 1982 and became the best-selling VHS tape ever. It started a huge fitness movement around the world. What could have been just a celebrity gimmick instead became a cultural phenomenon that empowered millions of people, especially women, to take charge of their health. After taking a break from acting in the early 1990s, Jane Fonda came back to movies in the 2000s with new confidence and clarity. Her later roles, from comedies to dramas, showed an actress who wasn't afraid of getting older or changing. Projects like Grace and Frankie introduced her to younger fans, proving that staying relevant doesn't have an age limit. After being away from the spotlight for more than 10 years, she made an exciting and successful comeback in 2005, when she came out of retirement to star in the romantic comedy Monster-in-Law. The movie not only brought her back to a new generation of moviegoers, but it also proved that her charm, wit, and powerful screen presence were still as strong as ever. Throughout the 2000s and into the next decade, she showed that her talent wasn't limited to just one time period. She kept reinventing herself with lots of memorable performances. In Georgia Rule in 2007, she gave a sharp and uncompromising performance. She followed this with Peace, Love, and Misunderstanding in 2011. Her later movie appearances kept showing her versatility. In The Butler in 2013, she became part of a big historical drama. In 2017, she reunited with Robert Redford in the Netflix film Our Souls at Night the following year. For decades, their clash has been reduced to headlines and quick quotes. But Fonda insists the deeper truth was always about values, power, and the myths America told itself. Fonda has often said that her conflict with Wayne was never personal in the way people imagined. "I didn't hate John Wayne as a man," she explains. "I hated what he represented, and I hated how many people confused that representation with truth." To Fonda, Wayne wasn't just a movie star. He was a symbol and embodiment of a rigid masculine nationalism that left no room for dissent, empathy, or complexity. Their most infamous clash came during the Vietnam War, when Wayne publicly attacked Fonda for her anti-war activism. Even now, she remembers his words clearly. "He called me unpatriotic, dangerous, a traitor," she recalls. And what struck me wasn't the insult. It was the fear behind it. Fonda believes Wayne genuinely feared that questioning authority would tear apart the country he believed in. John Wayne needed America to be simple. Good guys, bad guys, right and wrong. No gray. Fonda has acknowledged that Wayne's views were shaped by his generation and upbringing, but she refuses to excuse them. "Being a product of your time explains behavior," she says, but it doesn't absolve it. She points out that many artists of their era evolved, listened, and changed. Wayne, in her view, never did. Looking back, Fonda says she understands why Wayne saw her as a threat. "I was a woman speaking loudly, unapologetically, and refusing to stay in my place," she says. "That scared men like him more than any protest." Sign. In a Hollywood long dominated by male authority, Fonda's activism shattered expectations. She wasn't just criticizing a war. She was challenging the moral certainty that stars like Wayne had helped sell to millions, despite everything. Fonda insists she has no regrets. "I paid a price," she admits. "I lost roles. I lost fans. I lost years of peace. But I could live with myself." When asked whether Wayne's attacks ever made her doubt herself, she answers simply, "No. If anything, they confirmed I was doing something right." Now in her late 80s, Fonda reflects on legacy more than conflict. She believes history has complicated John Wayne's image in ways that once seemed impossible. People are finally asking who he was beyond the movie.